Welcome to Herbally Yours, an adventure into the world of natural medicine. Here is your host, Dr. Ellen Kamhi, the natural nurse who will help you take the leap to ultimate wellness.
And greetings. Thank you so much for joining me, Ellen Kamhi, the natural nurse, right here on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC, and we're listening to Herbally Yours, as we always do, right here on WHPC on Tuesdays at 3:30. And of course, one of the wonderful things is this is also on iHeartRadio and also on the archives. So if you missed today's show, you can listen anytime. Now, a lot of the shows we do are what's called green shows. Well, green is a great color for today as well, although this show is very focused on today's date, and that date is May 1st, because May 1st, according to the ancient Celtic and Druid traditions, is called Beltane. And it's a very ancient holiday today, but it goes right along with things like Arbor Day and various Jewish holidays, in fact, that are coming right up, which honor the planting of trees. So we see these kinds of spiritual traditions sort of across the board in various traditions around the world. But today we will focus on Beltane. And it is considered a holiday from sunset to sunset because a lot of these spiritual traditions actually happen in the evening. Beltane honors life. It represents the peak of spring and the beginning of summer, and today really feels like that, which is great because it's been such a cool few months. Earth energies are at their strongest and most active, and you can feel that if you even just go outside today, even walk on your lawn or in the woods. Today is going to be the day that I eat poison ivy. Yes, I said I eat poison ivy. And if you'd like to, now don't go out and do that now. Don't go out and do it. However, I do teach a class on how to do it correctly, and I shared that information with Native Americans right here on Long Island because when I was a young girl, I got poison ivy. And I was told by the doctor, well, just don't go in the woods. Well, that's like saying, the only way to, not have a baby is to be abstinent. That just wasn't going to work for me. I'm walking in the woods, so I had to find another way. So they suggested poison ivy shots. And then I met a healer on Long Island who was part of a tribe of Native Americans who had always lived here. And he taught me to eat poison ivy. And myself and Mr. Bill Barish, who has been working as a horticulturist at Planting Fields Arboretum, which is right in Oyster Bay, right where I'm talking to you from at this very moment, in fact. And in Oyster Bay, Long Island, Planting Fields Arboretum, there is lots of poison ivy. And since Bill Barish has been a horticulturist there for like 42 years, what a long run, right? He often gets poison ivy. He just figured it's part of the problem associated with his line of work, being a horticulturist outside, just like myself, being a natural nurse and an herbalist and walking outside. Of course, we're having our first meeting of the American Herbalist Guild, and that is completely free and open to the public. That is next Wednesday night, and you can find out more at naturalnurse.com calendar because we post our events, and it's actually at the Oyster Bay Library. It's 100% free, and we will take a walk. And when we take that walk, I will show you poison ivy and lots of other cleansing herbs of spring, which are actually honored, and we'll talk about them, in the Beltane Festival, which is always on May 1st, which is also called MAYDAY, and also had the Festival of the Maypole. Maybe you've heard about some of these things. So you can also go to YouTube and look up my name, Ellen Kamhi, and you will see many postings that we did on there in terms of videos. And Bill Barish and I actually have a posting there called Poison Ivy, in which we, as being very seasoned professionals at eating poison ivy, we're not fooling around, and it really, really helps. But you need to do it correctly. And today, right after the show, I will go out and I'll initiate that particular ritual that I do every year, which, since I learned it from the Native American healer, actually has helped me not get a terrible poison ivy rash. So it's very, very effective. And I'd like to remind you that you are listening to Herbally Yours on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm Ellen Kamhi, the natural nurse, and today we're talking about the Beltane Festival. So, all life is bursting with fertility at this point, in terms of the wheel of the year. And the potential really focuses on conception. Now, that can be brought to a spiritual understanding in terms of like a mental conception. Like if you wanted to write a book, if you're working on a spring paper for school, today would be a great day to get started. So life and the earth is at its peak. Particularly fertility on all levels is really a central theme. In fact, there's something called the maiden goddess, which is associated with Beltane, also called the May Queen, and that has to do with the maypole. Have any of you ever seen a maypole festival? I have seen them on Long Island at various events where what it is a big pole is put in the ground, and then these ribbons come down all the way from the top, and then usually girls participate, not so much a masculine energy kind of thing. It's a women's event, and they hold the maypole threads and go around the maypole. It's very, very beautiful, and it's about the goddess of spring, the May Queen or the May Bride. And then also there is an event for young men. It's called the Young Oak King, also known as the Green Man, and Jack in the Green. Now, the Green Man falls in love with the May Queen and wins her hand. That is part of the traditional story. And then together, the May Queen and the May King are symbols of a sacred marriage and also reflects of the joining of the earth and the sky. It's the union of earth and sky. And this union is reenacted by humans throughout centuries. So if you partake in the sacred ritual, this is not new. This is something that human beings have been doing on this planet for thousands of years. Also, this is considered the night of the Greenwood marriage. And for those of you who were listening earlier, you know that I talked about the fact that we're having our American Herbalist Guild Long Island chapter meeting, which is always free and open to the public. It happens every single month. And this month, it's coming up next week, and it will be at the Oyster Bay East Norwich Public Library. We'll meet there, but then we're going to go out and look for wild edible plants of spring, which are always used for cleansing. And those are some of the plants that are honored at this time of year because of Beltane, May 1st. So also in terms of the Green Man, that's interesting, because I am the vice president of the American Herbalist Guild, but the president is a local doctor, and he's an acupuncturist and brilliant herbalist and also a horticulturist, and the name of his business is Green Man. So that's very interesting. He's Angus Towes, and he was actually featured in a major article in last year's Newsweek magazine. I think it was that big Sunday section, lots of pictures of him. I was quoted in the article as well as part of the American Herbalist Guild, which many Long Islanders do come. It's open to everyone, no fee at all, just learning about what goes on in our beautiful area right here on Long Island. So we're going to take a little break here and remind you that you are listening to Herbally Yours on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. You can listen live online at nccradio.org or on iHeartRadio. You can also always join us for the archives. And feel free to email us at whpc@ncc.edu. Stay tuned. Herbally Yours. We'll be right back.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
It's Meals on Wheels. 1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
And welcome back to more right here on the Voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. You are listening to Herbally Yours, and this is Ellen Kamhi, the natural nurse. And thank you all for joining us. We had quite a lot of Long Island locals at the Naval Expo. You can always find out more in terms of navalexpo.com because we have them ongoing all year right by you. And that was really a wonderful event. So today is May Day. So we are focusing on the maypole and the holiday known as Beltane to the ancient Druids. And this is also about passion, vitality, and joy. And isn't it like that today? I hope you're taking some time to go outside, feel the sun, feel the warmth, and feel the plants talking to you through the ground, under the ground. We will be having our herb walks coming up. If you go to naturalnurse.com calendar, you'll see we have many of them. Some are at Restoration Farm, and that is in Old Bethpage, New York, a wonderful organic CSA. CSA means community supported agriculture. They grow all their own beautiful, beautiful food right on the ground, several large acreages. When you go there and walk around, I feel like I just took a 5-hour drive upstate. It is so beautiful. And when you're there, you can feel the ground pulsing under your feet. And we gather plants and make them into medicine, and you get to take them home. That's going on in June. So when we're looking at Beltane, this is where we're starting the wheel of the year to bring ideas, hopes, and dreams into action. That is actually the tradition of Beltane. It's a fire festival. So if you really want to get right in with the activities, make a fire tonight. If you have a fireplace, you can do it there. Or if you have a barbecue, you probably haven't cracked it open yet, but go outside and just make a little wood fire in your barbecue tonight. It's a really sacred night to do that. The word Beltane originates from the Celtic god who was called Bel, which meant the bright one, and the Gaelic word Tain, meaning fire. Together they make bright fire. So tonight is a fire ceremony. And traditionally, bonfires were honored to honor the sun. The sun is coming back. Very interesting when we look at these sacred spiritual rituals and their connection to nature. And of course, the sun is about growing plants, warming things. So it encourages the support of Bel, which is the Celtic god that's linked to Beltane, and the sun's light to nurture the emerging future harvests, which of course were very important, not only to our ancients, but how about us if we like to eat? And also protection of the community. Now, traditionally, all the fires were lit specially for Beltane. And, you know, that's something that you might want to use. The concept was to purify, cleanse, and bring fertility. And remember, fertility